Village Republican Club meeting to salute our police. Thank you so much, everyone. So glad you all made it on this, braved, Mother Nature in the storm. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to wait for us because we have a very, very important message to get out to everyone here and for everyone to get out to their communities. It's the message about freedom. It's the mission of our club, which we recite at every meeting, so we stay on focus. Our mission as the oldest Republican club in America is for constitutionally limited government, maximum personal freedom. We believe in our First Amendment right of free speech. We believe in our Second Amendment right to bear arms. We believe in free market capitalism and achieving the American dream. We support our first responders, our U.S. military, our veterans. This is what we're about. And we support our police, New York's finest. And above all, we support the sanctity of life. We support traditional family values. And of course, we support our Commander-in-Chief, President Donald Trump, who's leading us through this crisis and putting America first, where we belong. So remember that this is the most critical time of our lives to preserve the American way of life. This coming election is the most important one, and we will prevail on November 3rd, and we will elect our president for 4 more years, and Republicans across the nation, let's spread the word to vote Republican. We have to. So I'm going to keep my remarks short because we have a lot of speakers, but make sure, again, that before you leave, take a couple of blue ribbons and tie it around your old oak tree, your utility poles, wherever you can in your neighborhood. So now, folks, we're going to go into our Lincoln Dinner Award ceremony in person, and we're going to start off our first honoree, who you met originally digitally back in March at our digital 145th anniversary Lincoln Dinner. I'd like to call up Mike Amvros, the Businessman of the Year. Let's hear it for Mike Amvros. Mike is the owner of a successful family business since 1986, the magnificent Oasis Cafe in Bayside. Catering, he used to cater to the Trump family, back in the 80s and early 90s, and he does baking for Trump Tower. And he's a staunch supporter of President Trump and the Republican Party, and he's going to be building together with us. So let's hear it for Mike Amvros, the Businessman of the Year. He's going to receive his award.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody on the Republican Club who honored me, especially the President, Mr. Phil Orestein. I wish everybody good health. Special thanks to our police and who keeps us safe. And God bless America, and good luck to President Trump for the upcoming elections. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. And here, receive your award.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Congratulations, Mike Amvros.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, our next honoree is Rabbi Menashe Bovit. He's going to receive the Religious Freedom Award. He's a rabbi of Belrose Jewish Center and defender of religious freedom and our Judeo-Christian values, as you heard before. So, Rabbi Menashe Bovit, congratulations on the Religious Liberty Award.
Thank you, Phil. Today we live in a time where we talk about cancel culture, right? people worried about getting canceled. But that's not anything new. This has been going on for a long time. And this award means so much to me because about 6 years ago or so, I got involved with the Queens Village Republican Club. And I knew I was taking a chance in doing that because you notice that not too many clergy speak out in public because they're afraid, unfortunately, the left has infiltrated every institution of our society, including the board of directors of synagogues and churches. So they're basically holding clergy hostage. But I'm not going to be afraid of being canceled, even though in my congregation, probably the majority are liberals. But I've been inspired by the membership of this club that gave me a home to combine the idea that I have that our religious freedom, and what we talk about as politics, is not separated from being religious. The most religious and God-dedicated things we can do is to stand up for this country. And so I want to thank Phil and Joe and the rest of the board and Jim and all the great people at the Queens Village Republican Club for giving me a home in which I could do this combination of being a rabbi and also being someone who's standing up politically proud and strong for this country. So God bless America, and thank you, everybody.
Congratulations, Rabbi Menashe Bovit. So our next speaker, our next honoree, actually is Gavin Wax. He's the Young Republican of the Year. Come on up, Gavin. Gavin is the president of the New York Young Republican Club and former New York State Director for the Ted Cruz presidential campaign. He recently led a rally of over 300 people on the steps of the American Museum of Natural History to save Teddy. So, Gavin, congratulations on your award, on your honoree as a Young Republican of the Year.
Thank you so much, Phil, and it was great to stand with you and many others in the audience. I think it was a few weeks ago on that Sunday, stood for our flag, stood for our history, stood for Teddy and the police and everything else that we all hold dear. And we're looking forward to working with you guys, the New York Young Republican Club, the oldest Young Republican Club, along with the oldest Republican Club. So it's great that we have that synergy, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you. I know there's a few candidates here. We're here to help. We're here to build a grassroots movement, support our president, support our Republicans, support all conservatives, and we're hoping it's going to be a good year, a good November, and I'm looking forward to celebrating all with you in a few months. So we'll see what happens.
Great. Congratulations, Gavin. Okay, our next honoree is Dawn Eskew. Dawn is the recipient of our Sanctity of Life Award. She's a certified bioethicist, the founder and president of Personhood Education New York, and the organizer of the annual International Gift of Life Walk in New York City. Dawn Eskew, congratulations.
Wow, Phil, this is wonderful. It is such an honor to receive this award for personhood and also personhood at the national level. I want to say thank you, and also one thing. Just think about it. Not all Americans have the right to life. Not all Americans have the right to life. And that is the core problem of what's going on in our country right now, because if not all Americans have the right to life, nor do they have liberty or the pursuit of happiness. It's just a matter of time that it will reach out to more. So we must preserve the right to life for all Americans. That means the unborn, even to the natural death. So I want to say thank you, and I'll let it go.
Thank you. Congratulations, Dawn. Our next honoree couldn't be here with us tonight, but his son-in-law is here, and I'd like to call up Simon Zysman, the son-in-law of Sergeant Philip Kahn, who many of you have heard his name. He was our honoree as our Veteran of the Year, our Morton Pomerantz Veteran of the Year honoree. And he was there at the Lincoln dinner, and he gave his remarks, if you remember. And he passed away at 100 years old shortly after then of the coronavirus, while his brother, 100 years previously, his twin brother died of the Spanish flu. So Lester Friedman was in the same combat unit, the U.S. Army Air Corps, flying missions over Japan. So this is very, very significant, and we want to congratulate posthumously Sergeant Philip Kahn. You will always be in our memory as a great, great hero of World War II. So I'd like to, say thank you to Simon, receiving the award on behalf of your father-in-law.
Thank you. I know Phil was looking very much forward to...
Thank you.
Sergeant Phil Kahn was very, very proud of his military background and experience, and he was very proud to serve America during a time of war. He ended up serving as a co-pilot, aerial engineer, and also as a crew chief on a B-29, and Lester was also assigned there in Iwo Jima. And he flew 14 missions over Japan. They bombed Japan, and then following the bombing on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, he was also given the responsibility of flying over to survey the damage that was inflicted on Japan that eventually brought about the end of World War II. Phil had a twin brother at birth, and 3 weeks after birth, his brother died of the Spanish flu. 100 years later, Phil himself ended up perishing as a result of the COVID-19, and my daughter-in-law, she ended up coining them as pandemic bookends. That here they spanned 100 years, and both of them ended up dying of the flu, or something, a flu-like disease. He was married to my mother-in-law for 73 years. She died the same year. She died in August, and he died in April 17 of 2020, 2020 rather. He had 2 daughters, 6 grandchildren, and also he has 2 great-grandchildren as well. And he was very, very proud of his military service, very proud of men in uniform, and was very strongly supported the whole concept of the idea of peace and our police department as well, in terms of maintaining order in our society, because of course they're our first line of defense. My wife could not be here tonight because my daughter is pregnant and is due to give birth very shortly. So that's one of the future great-grandchildren of Philip Kahn. So we sorely miss him, and it was a terrible, horrible tragedy that occurred just recently. He did receive the award prior to his death, but unfortunately he's not here to receive it himself. And I know that he was looking forward to receiving this award. So thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Next we have Senator Marty Golden, was our Harvey Motor Lifetime Achievement Award honoree. And he was able to speak to us, at the Digital Lincoln dinner. Unfortunately, he couldn't be with us tonight to receive his award in person, but here in his stead is Anthony Testaverde to receive the award, the Lifetime Achievement Award for Senator Marty Golden, who was a distinguished state senator and retired NYPD officer, and he has been leading the charge to support our police in Brooklyn, leading rallies, speaking out, never resting, never sleeping. His voice is always there on behalf of the police, on behalf of our country, and on behalf of our values. So, Anthony, thank you so much. If you'll say a few words and accept the award on behalf of Senator Marty Golden.
Thank you, Phil. The senator, as I got the call, last minute, he at the hospital with his son. His son took ill, so that's why he's not here with you. But he had told me, Anthony, I'm really honored to receive this award. So he said, really express his feelings to Phil and to the club and to your club, that he thanks you, through the bottom of his heart. And that's what he said to me when on my way here. All right. I've been with the senator almost 20 years now. I know him pretty well. And as Phil said, he's still, and even though he's not in office anymore, he still fights for this great state. And he's, right now, last week, he was involved with 2 rallies in supporting our men in blue, okay, our MYM women, our NYPD. And he's planning more to happen. The senator never rested, and they still never rest. He's still going, and he still wants to show his, his support to the men and women of blue. But I know he would definitely want me to pass this on. As Phil said in the beginning, this is the most important election of our lifetime to our families and our children. And we heard this before from many people. They said this, but this is the one. Without this election, without our president being reelected, then this country is going to be in trouble. So the most important thing, we know this is the choir right here. The thing is to grab our children, to grab our grandchildren, to grab our neighbors, and make sure they go out to vote. That's the key. Vote, vote. Before I would say, get your Democratic friends to and go and vote. Now I'd say leave them home and make sure we get our Republicans out to vote. We have, and I just want to recognize Dave Franklin, right? Running for New York State Senator. I'm pretty sure Phil will mention that. So on behalf of the Senator, Phil, thank you very much. And again, his regard, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Anthony. And here's the award. And give our greatest thanks to Senator Golden for us. He's a great man. And now we have some incredible speakers, with us tonight. I'd like to call up Joe Murray first. He's a Queens native. He's a former NYPD officer who joined the force in 1987. He was part of Queens North Task Force and was in the plainclothes anti-crime unit. Those are the real crime fighters, which, as we know, our mayor disbanded this unit. So he has a word to tell us about that. And now he's an attorney representing our embattled NYPD officer. So let me give it up for Joe Murray and what he's doing to defend our police.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. And yes, I got to tell you, when I joined the police department in 1987, the city was totally different. There was crime, it was rampant, it was chaos. It was under Mayor Koch, but then we had Mayor Dinkins. So I kind of understand what these cops are feeling right now, because we had the Tompkins Square Park riots, we had the Crown Heights riots, we had the Washington Heights riots. We didn't have a mayor that backed us. My friend Mike O'Keefe was in a fight for his life, shot and killed a drug dealer. Mayor Dinkins paid for his funeral. It was outrageous. So I kind of get what these cops are going through. They need our support. I can tell you, just from being in that uniform and people coming up to me and saying, thank you so much for what you do, that little bit helps. It really goes a long way. So doing what we're doing today is fantastic. We need to continue to do that because they are under attack like never before. This new diaphragm law, it's outrageous. Anyone who resists arrest It's so hard to handcuff someone. People don't realize how hard it is if somebody's resisting to handcuff them. There's almost impossible to do it without grabbing the person, restraining them, and that's what it is. The law says you cannot restrict the diaphragm in any way. So unless the person voluntarily surrenders, they're essentially telling us, don't arrest them because we will prosecute you. It's outrageous. But you have to understand, this is what the left wants. It all fits in together when you look at it. The closing of Rikers Island, the releasing of all these prisoners, no cash bail, the new discovery law. Yes, we needed improvements with criminal procedure, but this new discovery law makes it impossible to comply. It makes it so much harder to get a conviction. This is what they're doing. They're trying to undermine the whole criminal justice system. They don't want anyone else in jail. They want lawlessness and chaos. You got to think about why they want that. They're trying to overturn our republic. You got to look at the big picture. So these races that we have now, you got to get behind these candidates and vote them in. We need them desperately. Thank you very much. I don't want to go too long. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very happy now to have David Franklin. He's the former Port Washington Police Commissioner, and he's running for the Senate seat in a very competitive race. Just a couple of blocks over from here is Senate District 7. He's running against Democrat Anna Kaplan, who no one likes. It's a very, very winnable seat. We want to give him all our support. He's representing law enforcement. He'll be a great outspoken voice in the New York State Legislature. We need to flip our state Senate to Republican, and here's a guy to do it. Let's give it up for David Franklin. Thank you, David.
I'm going to make this brief unless the rabbi has it in with God, we're going to get rained on. So, oh, you don't do rain then? You don't do, well, you brought a hat. So. Crazy times. This is as crazy as I've ever seen it. I was born in '57, so I was a youngster during the '60s riots, '70s riots. This is unimaginable what's happening. And what's happening is the left is attacking our basic way of life. Everything that we believe in is being attacked at the root by the left. We have to make a difference. Look at bail reform. We were just talking about that. During the looting in the city, that everybody was allowed to run free. 462 people were arrested, released, and went on to commit another 850 crimes if they got let out. It's a revolving door in our justice system. We've got to make a difference. Thank God I'm in front of people like you and with people like you, like-minded people who know and love this country and will do everything we can. We've got to fight for our freedom. This is absolutely a fight for our freedom. Police, defunding the police is insane. But then you look at the source, de Blasio, and then you realize where it came from. This is the time we need police more than ever. Crime is rampant. It's coming here. It's spreading out to Long Island, all right? If you think it's just in Manhattan, it's going to spread out here. We've got to make a difference. We've got to fight for everything we believe in. We've got to fight for life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, everything that we're guaranteed. Everything that Lester fought for and put his life on the line for, all right, is being mocked right now by the left. There's a lack of respect, and it's anarchy. The left wants to take over so that we have to run to government for everything. I carry this shield. I'll be very brief. I was police commissioner in Port Washington. I carry this with pride. I carry it with honor, but I carry it with a purpose also. I gave an oath to God and to this state to protect and serve, and as senator, that's just what I'm going to do. Restore common sense to government and restore law and order. So thank you. I appreciate your time. Please vote red all the way across.
Wait a minute, Dave, please tell everybody how we can support your campaign. How can we donate to your campaign?
Thank you. On Facebook, I'm at Franklin 4 Senate, the number 4. Same thing on Instagram and on Twitter. My website is franklinforsenate.com. So please, if you can, we need money to get through this. But even if you just support my messages on Facebook, spread the word, get the people out there, get the word out there. We're all in this together, and it's time to make a difference. It's time. The silent majority can't be silent any longer. Okay, we've got to step up and make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's flip this. See red.
Thank you.
Let's support Dave Franklin. Thank you very much. Okay, we have our last final and very important speaker now. We have Joseph Imperatrice, and Mother Nature is holding out for one more speaker here. Joe, thank you, Rabbi. Joe Imperatrice founded Blue Lives Matter to help law enforcement officers and their family during their time of need. He spent 13 years in law enforcement, from foot patrol, street narcotics, supervisor of the plainclothes anti-crime unit, and he has a word about that and de Blasio's machinations here. His message now is very, very critical at this time of mob attacks on our police, of our government, of our mayor, of our city council, all demoralizing and standing against our police. We have to stand up. We have to, support our police. And here is no better spokesman for our police than the founder of Blue Lives Matter, Joe Imperatrice.
Thank you. Well, first of all, to the Queens Village Republican Club, thank you once again for having me. People coming out in the heat and the rain about to come, but our police have definitely had it pretty hard. We've seen ever since this coronavirus, one day being heroes with the first responders, and the very next, we're out there dealing with the riots and the looting and the store windows coming down. But I'm going to explain a little bit about my day today, right, and what I'm trying to do to change things. So I wake up at 6 a.m. I have a 2-year-old son, terrible twos. I get him going. I bring him to my family's house, right? Over the last year and a half, I've become friends with Sonny from the Bronx Tale, Chaz Palminteri, right? So he's a huge supporter of police. So we set up food to be delivered to real-time crime from Arthur Ave, our little Italian food, to boost morale. Because what happened yesterday? Everyone saw that the police ended up vacating around City Hall, right? But they didn't show you that 100 protesters came in the pouring rain later on, and officers were out there defending that property once again, getting soaked. They looked like wet rats, and the cops ended up coming off the street and saying, you know what, we feel so disheartened. We feel like people are against us. No one cares. But then today, Today, I had 2 of my officers go pick up the food and meet Chaz. You know what? They came back. The guy with 17 years on and goes, yesterday I was villainized. He goes, today, I feel like a hero. People appreciate me. He goes, I'm the same person, same uniform, but how 2 days really, really change. And that meant a lot to me, because just by being able to donate food to these cops puts a smile on their face, something so simple. So then I go, and during the coronavirus, I end up getting in touch and a phone call from the Manhattan North Detectives, Midtown North Detectives, and they have a detective 21 years on. Wife just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So they flew her out to Texas. So what did we end up doing? They asked, Joe, what can you do? And with COVID, we can't set up a fundraiser because of what's going on. So we set up a fund, and we ended up raising $27,000 that we ended up giving to the family today and surprising them and take a little bit of, the pressure off of them. So then I end up leaving. I don't know if you've seen, but we have the Black Lives Matter that they put. They paint right in front of the streets in Trump Towers as a little, screw you to the president, right? So we said, well, you know what? Of course, all lives matter, including black lives. But what about the police that are villainized every single day with violence and hatred and the brutality, as on the Brooklyn Bridge we saw, right? So you guys may have saw, my organization, myself, stood up, and we ended up asking the mayor. A little to my knowledge, after the ceremony, I get a text and a call from Staten Island Advance, and they're like, Joe, did you see the mayor's meeting today? And I said, well, I saw it quick. They said, did you know? He said, no. I said, well, I watched the same thing, and I didn't hear it. She goes, I didn't either, but through the transcript, it looks like he said no. So I turn around and goes, well, he's going to have a fight on his hands because we have a constitutional lawyer waiting in the background for us to go up there and push back. Because we have to start showing our officers just a little mural, just a billboard, just showing them, not just the officers now, but the families of cops that were killed in the line of duty, how important they are, how much we're not going to forget their sacrifice. Because we heard back in the 80s and the 90s with Dinkins and that era, well, it's coming back. You're going to hear our mayor tell you that it's not. And maybe we don't have 1,500 murders, but guess what? Through graffiti and all the nonsense with the shootings every single day and being active, it is. And I wouldn't even go out with my son, and I live in Staten Island, after a certain hour because of what's going on in this city. Because these politicians are living in a bubble. They don't care about the police. They just took 1,100 cops that were supposed to go in off the streets and not putting them to the academy. So not only are the officers in the streets not going to have people that back them up on jobs, But the people retiring now, we're not being able to fill their spots. But guess what's more important? It's people like you that we said that we were going to protect and serve that are going to suffer more because we don't have enough cops to go there and help you guys when you need it most. You know, you have cops just traveling in circles writing reports. Well, what about the crime fighters like Anti-Crime and Conditions that stopped the nonsense, that took that guy with warrants off the street, that wrote that summons for somebody with the quality of life taking a piss on the corner or drinking a beer, the people playing dice where you think wouldn't have a problem, but guess what? You know, in certain neighborhoods, people get shot over nonsense like that and lose their lives. Now, another thing you're not going to see is the majority of individuals that are being shot every single day are people of color. And that's not just me being racist or saying something, you know, out of control, because I see the things coming in. My unit handles all the shootings citywide, the ages of 18 to the mid-20s. Now, whether or not they're on the right or wrong side of the law, that doesn't matter, because each number you see is a victim. Their lives are forever changed. And there's good people in these neighborhoods where the bullets are flying that should be able to go home and be at peace and enjoy themselves and be proud of where they live. But because of the people that we have in office, that's not happening, and that's sad. It hurts me because as a New Yorker, and as I said earlier, I have a 2-year-old son. What was it, 2 weeks ago, a 1-year-old was shot at 11:30 at night. Why the hell isn't a mayor or politicians going there at 2 o'clock in the morning with a goddamn podium and saying, we're not going to take this no more, that we're going to go out there and we're going to lock these people off and take them off the street? Where was he? Where was the mayor? Because he's a coward.
There's no bail.
But you know what? Tonight, you look here, people are out here in the heat with the rain. We need to go and take this energy and inform people to go out there when the time is right and vote and get these people out. You need people that care. You know, one thing I said is if I ever run for any kind of office, you need somebody with heart, someone that gives a crap. That, you know, and yes, I am a Republican, yes, but you know what, more importantly, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. You're a goddamn New Yorker that loves this city and wants to see a change, and everyone here deserves it. The people here that we see that fought in all these wars. But yet you got these friggin' punks that are 18 years old that never did a goddamn thing, that live at home, have their cars paid for, Apple iPhones, but they're going to tell the cops how to do their job. Most of them are white that are never even stopped by the police. So how dare they? How the mayor let these encampments out there in front of that city was a goddamn disgrace. You know, and if anyone's not outraged, there's a problem there. It don't matter if you're 18 or 70 or 80. It's our time to go out there and not be the silent majority, and not fight back with violence, but common sense. And that's what we need. You know, before I end, you can look today. My name is Joseph Imperatrice. I was in the Post twice, Staten Island Advance once. I'm going to be on Newsmax tomorrow morning at 10:40, as I always am, fighting for these cops. And the reason is not just for police officers, but for people like you that care. People like you that are sweating your little butts off in the heat because you want to see a difference, because you care about America and New York City. And because of that, it means a lot to me, and I'm going to continue to fight, not just for my brothers and sisters in blue, but for the people here that really care about New Yorkers. So thank you very, very much for coming out tonight.
Thank you very much, Joe. Let's hear it for Joe and all our speakers, all our great speakers.